Alright, so I'm back and we're going to take a look at yet another TFC Seacon. This is Mentarazor or Sea Wing. So he does come with these blades. We'll get more into this when we get into bot mode, but there they are. And he comes with these two bits here. You can plug these together and make a sword if you want to. It doesn't really tab together. We'll get into that more in combined mode. And he also does come with these two blasters here and here, which actually do have a place to store on the bot, which is like, you know, what, 2 of the 5 we looked at so far. But yeah, here he is in his beast mode. I think it looks pretty good. Works well. My one and only gripe about this mode is, and this figure almost in general, is this piece of the tail. Because of the way it's designed, the screw hole is here, and it comes with all these little screw covers for it, and you have to put those on. But the screw is here at the tip, or at the base, and there's no screw at the tip. Now, you can see there's a little bit of a gap there. Because of that gap, and there's no screw to tighten there, this it's just a 5mm port, and it just doesn't tab in very well. I would have really liked it if they would have made this one, you know, like built it into this piece so that it didn't do that. I'd take that over this any day of the week. So disappointing on that, but that's gonna be, you know, figure to figure, I would imagine, on tolerances, and I'm sure I can fix that pretty easily with like a little bit of glue and tighten that joint up. But it is something worth noting. The wings can pretty much fold here. There's a hinge here, and then it attaches to a ball joint here. So you get that, and the propellers do slightly spin. And that's really all there is to it, to this beast mode. So let's get him transformed. So to transform him, the first thing we want to do is pull these out, and there's a tab here that'll plug into the underneath right there. That's what keeps the wings in place. So untab that and move those out of the way. Just kind of, we'll come back to those later. Untab the arms from here, and out, and out, just like that. Untab the feet, just like that. Undo this section here, and it comes out to the sides. And then from back here, what we want to do is pull these bits here up. This is where we're going to need our screwdriver. I don't think there's a single figure in this line that you don't need this for. So pull these up, and then that will help you open these out. From there, we can take the legs and rotate them down. It has really tight knee joints. Straighten the feet out. Or the feet will actually... We'll get back to the feet in a second. Sorry. Alright, so take this rounded piece here. This will fold around and down. And then you can swing this around, and this tab here will plug into this slot right there. Like that. Then we can take the screwdriver again, pull this piece here down. It rotates back, and this will form the heel. This will come down and form the toe. This will fold down and just fill in that gap. I think so. That back, this rounded piece, this could have been designed a little bit better. Definitely, I think. Could have folded up a little bit better, because a lot of the other ones, that they have a tendency of being very clever with the way things fold up. So to see it just kind of simply just kind of flop in there is a little disappointing with what the line has done so far. I think this piece, you can see it doesn't quite go flush, and I don't know if I've got something wrong, but there's really not much there to get wrong. It just folds down, so it kind of sits at an angle, and there's nothing tabbing this in, barely anything tabbing this in, and so yeah, I think the feet are pretty weak on this one. Fold these off to the side. This port here will plug into this plug here. So just fold it over, just like that. Alright, for the arms, we want to fold this piece here up. It's just on a double hinge, so it just accordions up like that. Open the bottom panel. This will fold out the hands. They actually put little tabs on this one, so you can actually get the hands out easily, which is nice. You know, who'd have thunk it? Pull that out. Now for the wings, what we want to do here, first off, let's pull everything, or the tail here, we'll pull this all forward, and this will also pull this chest piece forward, which will be able to then whip out the head, like that, and then you can fold this back over. And then the tail can just kind of sit on the back. You can then take this piece here, and it untabs from there, flips around, and then there's a port here and a plug there, and it'll plug in right there. This piece would then fold around, and then you just kind of set this on the back however you want to pose it. So again, untab, rotate around, plug that in. This rotates to the back, and this is a little loose here too, so it doesn't really sit right where it needs to sit. And there you go. There is Sea-Wing in robot mode, and I think he looks great. Functionality wise, he has a few issues. Let's talk about accessories real quick. So you can hold the sword, I believe. Yep, he holds the sword just fine. And he's got these little blades here. You can fold this down like this, and he can hold those just fine if that's something you're looking for. You can also rotate it the other way, just like that. You know, if that's something you're looking for. Not something I'm really looking for. This, you can open this panel here, revealing the gun, and rotate the gun out. This. And then you can put the gun in there, like that. So, there is the guns for you. And then this piece will come out, and you can plug that into his hand if you wanted to. Like that. Or you can unplug the whole assembly and plug that into his hand. So, he's got options for weapons. And of course, if you do that, then you can get that a little bit closer to the chest. But yeah. So all in all, come on. All in all, setting that off to the side. All in all, posability. So the wings can hinge back here. There's a hinge here. And then it's also on a swivel here and a hinge here, so you can get them all over the place, really. And then this is on a hinge with the ball joint in there, just like beast mode. Head is on the ball joint, so you get a little up, a little down, the left and right. Ratchets on the shoulder all around, in and out. Biceps, elbow swivel. double bend elbow, hand swivel, waist swivel, hips rotate up and down, in and out. There is a knee bend, but because those are so tight, because these bits are so tight that it's hard for you to move it at the right place. See, it's wanting to bend at the other hinge that's down here for transformation, rather than just bending straight, which is what we want. So that's disappointing. Ball joint for the back heel that's also on a hinge here. Now the hinge is what's really loose, not so much the ball joint, but it's like it's borderline floppy, I'd say. And it's the same on this side. It has like zero tolerance there. The ball joint seems okay. The front one, the hinge is a little bit better than the back, but not by much. But the ball joint is a lot looser. And it's the same on this one. So, I would say it's a great figure. Just the tolerances suck on him. He could have been one of the best by far. I love the way he looks. I always love Decepticons with the wings. It reminds me of Seekers and such. So I do like the way he looks. He looks great. But the tolerances, the knees being too tight, the feet being too loose, front ball joints are too loose, back hinges are too loose. The wings don't have a place to tab in. They just sit here, and this isn't very is on the loose side. Then you got the tip of the tail that just doesn't plug in. All in all, it's for me on this guy, it's a tolerance issues. Other than that, he would have been perfect. So I'm gonna have to give him a 6 out of 10. He looks great, but the tolerances really kill it. So let's do size comparisons here. Here he is with MP10 and a MP car. So it looks good there. And let's get all of them out in here. So yeah, teams, looking pretty good together. So we got one more, and then we'll go into the start working on the combined mode. But yeah, these guys are. I do like the way they're looking. Again, the team element is really does come out a lot here. So it really works, I think. They all have their own individual issues. But we'll see how all that plays out once we get into the combined mode. I am seeing some recycled elements in between these two. Like just certain design cues that are similar. And then, of course, those two have certain design elements that are similar. If it's a retool, they're so heavy that you can't tell. So I can't sit there and say they're retools. But if they are... I think they're more or less just recycling elements from each other. Like they come up with a good transformation, so they recycle it for a couple figures, as opposed to just designing a whole new type of transformation. So I think that's what they're kind of doing more than anything else. But yeah, they're it's working. I'd say I think it's working for them. So yeah, we got one more to look at, and then we'll move on to combined mode.